Happy Monday morning, everyone. This is Labor Day. I love doing our DMOpro calls on a weekend holiday or holiday weekend or just holiday. It's not the weekend anymore. I don't know what that is. Mondays, because so many of you do have work jobs outside of Juice Plus, though sometimes you're not able to get on live with us. So I already see the numbers coming in. It's fun to be able to see you in person, and then maybe just the relaxation of the rest of the day and the ability to go back and listen for those that want the recording. So we're glad to have you here. And we have a big announcement from our company last week about some incentives for September. And I just thought, why not take a few minutes and talk it through with all of us? Like, what's our plan? What are we going to do with that? So if you haven't heard, this is our 30th anniversary with Juice Plus on the market. And so in celebration of that, they are doing $30 off the partner sign-up fee. So that makes it just $22 to join us. And immediately my mind started ding, 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 ding. And it's not like $52 is expensive, right? Like, to where people are like, well, I just can't do it. Honestly, if $52 throws you over the edge, I don't know if this is the right timing for you anyway. But it is fun to like find something on sale that you've been wanting. I mean, think about that, where you're like, I really want that, whatever it is, but I don't know, should I get it? And then you think about it and you think more about it and you watch some, read some reviews on it and you're thinking about it. Then you see that it goes on sale and you're like, heck yeah. And that just like moves you over the fence and you're like, I'm in. So that's kind of what I'm hoping with some of these people I've spoken to for quite a while. But also the good news is that people that are returning, so team members that left their renewal lapse, that have been out, and they didn't give us any timeline frame of how long they had to have been out. So they will get the $52 reduced to $22. So I'm just thinking, man, we've got some team that we can go back to maybe that, just got lost in COVID, distracted and just lost their way, but maybe they would be interested in coming back. So and remembering they won't necessarily see this announcement, although I did hear that the company, I saw an announcement that they are going to be emailing customers and old team members, people that had gotten out of the system. So that will be interesting. We've gotten kind of some of their updates on the results of the email campaigns, like the Omegas, when they emailed all of our customers that were not taking Omegas yet, and the percentage of those that bought, it was decent, where they just may not know. So I know I've already alerted all of my team, but I haven't alerted all of my customers. And I'll probably end up alerting or talking to the customers that I think would be interested. But it's kind of cool that the company will send it out to everyone. If they're not interested, they'll pass by. But if they are, it can spark a conversation. So I was stoked about that. So not only are they getting $30 off, but they're also getting 30 samples of different products, right? So I've always thought that would be really good to give them starting samples of chewables to be able to share with other people, or bars that they can try for themselves. And then they're like, oh, I do like those, and they order them, or shake samples, same thing. So I do try to do that for my local team that signs up here. I'll give them samples and get them going, but kind of nice that the company is going to be doing that for them. 30 different products, and they said it's about a $90 value. So that's pretty awesome. So am I missing anything on that announcement? Did I cover all the basics of it? Okay, so now the question is, what are we going to do with it? Because it's a month, right? It's just for the month of September, as far as we know. So we can, be excited about it, and then life just kind of comes in and we just move along and trudge along. So I was talking with my niece and my daughter. They went to conference with us at this last time in Phoenix, and I was asking them, what do you think are the two most important activities? The most important two. You guys put them into the chat. Let's see what you guys think. The two most important activities to build your business. If you could only do two, what would they be? Let's see what you guys come up with. Nothing? You guys got nothing? No, I failed you. Okay, good. Here we go. Somebody says conversation and follow up. Somebody else said talking to people, events, three-way calls, events. Nancy, you said meets. Is that meet up with people? Conversations and events. Ding, ding, ding. Debbie got it. Those two things. So talking to new people, having conversations, you've got to get people, into the funnel, if you will. If you remember that, does anyone, like I say that, get into the funnel? Maybe somebody doesn't know what that means, but there's a sales funnel process. If you just look that up on Google, it goes for any business at all, whether you're selling gaskets like my husband or you're selling Juice Plus like we are. There's a sales funnel process that's a very well-known business sales term. So look up what that is. But basically, it's like you got to get people into the top of the funnel, interest to where it works down to the point where they're ready to purchase. Okay. So you've got to get people into that system so you can give them educational exposure, so you can follow up with them, so you can invite them to an event. So if you're not talking to people, that's going to make it really hard. So if talking to people, it doesn't necessarily mean talking to people in the vitamin aisle at Walmart. It means, and it doesn't necessarily mean posting or sending somebody a Facebook message that says happy birthday to them either. I'm talking like real conversations with people that get to Juice Plus. Okay, so sometimes you have to kind of start the conversations on a lighter side. You're finding the need, you're listening, you're asking questions. All of that is true. But if you never get to the point where you're talking about Juice Plus, then they're not in your funnel. Okay, think of it that way. They're outside here. That's fine. You can have conversations. But if you never get to the point where you're talking product or business, then they're not in your funnel. So it has to get to that point. And some of the things I would just say is just talk to people. Just tell them, like, if you are sharing Juice Plus with them, then share Juice Plus with them. If you're starting the conversation to share Juice Plus with them, then share Juice Plus with them. Like, be authentic if that's why you're reaching out. Why do I say that? Because we've heard people tell stories of when they first got into Juice Plus. They were so excited about the product. They called people, they went to people's house, they told them about Juice Plus. They're like, knock on the door. I'm here because I have something you need to know about. Can I come in and share this with you? And they did. And they came in and they shared it with their family, and the family ordered, and they went to the next people and the next people. They didn't come bringing a casserole and just asking, just checking, do you have weeds that need to be pulled? How can I serve you today? They came with the Juice Plus message. And sometimes I think we can get lost in the tons of conversation that we assume has to happen before you can take it to Juice Plus. My daughter told me, I feel bad for messaging people because I don't want them to think I'm selling them Juice Plus. And I was like, you are selling them Juice Plus. But that is what we're doing. Like, okay, check in on them, but take it to the Juice Plus conversation then. If you start the conversation with, hey, I really have something I think you're going to be interested in, they're not going to be shocked when you share what you're interested in, right? It almost feels like we can get, I don't know, I don't want to say deceptive. I don't want that word, but like we're beating around the bush, and then we're like, okay, there's no more small talk. Okay, I'll take it to Juice Plus. And you're like, oh, where did that go? That conversation kind of jumped shark, and I wasn't expecting that. Or, you invite them over for dinner, and then you have your whole display of Juice Plus set up, and you talk to them about Juice Plus. I did that twice when I very first got started. Did not go over well. I would not recommend it. It was a bunco game and an officers' wives club for the military. Didn't go well. They weren't there for that. And then here's this Juice Plus display. Nobody rushed me with their credit cards. I was just shocked. So there's definitely something to being able to engage in conversations with people when you just invite them out to lunch and you just want to get to know them. Yes. But there's also something about get to the point. If you're there to share Juice Plus, let's share Juice Plus. So we need to have Juice Plus conversations, product conversations, health need conversations, to where you're bringing in the point of hey, I have this solution you might be interested in. Okay, so that's the number one thing. Can you do that face to face? Yes. Can you do that by the phone? Yes. And I highly recommend we get back to that. There's something beautiful about talking to someone if you can get them to answer. I do understand that's hard. And then also on social media, we get to have the opportunity to share what we do with the world in a way that those of you that have been sharing Juice Plus for a long time, we just didn't have when we very first got started. But again, that can be sort of a passive way where you feel like you're just kind of putting information out there, but you never take it to the actual conversations. Like you're waiting for people to message you and say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say. It does happen. It does, but it doesn't as near as many times as we would like, or we would need it to be able to move forward. And so just getting yourself out there on social media, getting some messages. Again, I will really recommend Jill Wagner's program where you pay $10 a month and then she texts you what to put on social media. So it's going to be on life things. She'll encourage you to post something about that's going on with your life. You can, post something about, a quote. She gives you all the resources and tells you like, okay, this is the framework for your story. Use this to be something to post about. And it just keeps me relevant on Facebook. And what I mean by that is like in the algorithms, because that's a thing that if you don't know how algorithms work, and none of the rest of us do either, because they change all the time, but posting and commenting and being interactive on social media is part of the algorithm message. So if you just post, but you never you never comment, you don't have engagements in your posts, then Facebook isn't going to make your post seen by more of your friends. That's basically what algorithms would be. So her program really keeps you relevant in Facebook's eyes and then keeps your message consistent, and consistency is key, right? So it is a way of talking to people, and done right, it does work well, and you just never know who's watching and who will reach out when they're ready. So just trust that process. And then the second part we talked about was events. And so I really feel it's conversations and events, because an event can be a one-on-one coffee with you. An event to me can even be them watching a video at home or on their phone. The doctor is doing the speaking. That's what we want. We want them to make up their decision by a third-party validation, somebody else saying the same thing you did that validates what you said, builds their belief to the point where, yes, this makes sense. So if that's a video that they're watching, I think that's great. And then, of course, the bigger events that we think about where we're gathering people together, because there is something super powerful about getting us all together, right? All of us in one room, sharing stories, sharing experiences, watching the video of a doctor, whoever speaking, just living life together in that. It is a powerful thing that can move people forward. And then there's just kind of the social, social proof of like, oh, look, other people are interested in this too. And, they ordered, and I'm not crazy if I order, because there's other people that have ordered as well. So that social proof of everyone being there is really an important aspect. And it just is a belief builder like nothing else when you get people together. So events really are important. So you can stick to just only sending videos, and that's your event. But I promise you, your business is not going to grow the same as when you step into hosting events and doing them yourself. Not just inviting to your sponsor's event, but really you take charge of that event. You set the date, you find the location, you decide what the event is going to be. Is it a salad jar? Is it a sourdough? Is it just a wellness, one simple change wellness presentation? That's what I would suggest you guys start out with. And you just start doing them until you get good at them. And you know what? At first, you're not going to be very good. You're just not. And you know what? It doesn't even matter. People still order. It's crazy good. Like, it's not you. It's the message that you're sharing. That's where the power is. So we can do it all wrong and people still get the right message if it's the right timing for them. So just trust, keep doing it. You'll get better at it. You'll get more confident. And that's where you're going to build a team. Because when you bring on a new team member, it's your job to help them get customers. Okay. If you have a good customer base, you know how to do that. So building a team, not that different. We've talked about that, but it's also transferring that skill set you have to your new team member and their people. And the best way to do that is to do an event in their home where they invite their friends and family and they come in and they hear you present, or you guys watch a video. But if you've never done a presentation, that's going to be harder for you to do that for your team member. And sometimes that will press us to do that, right? I know it was for me. I had never done one, but my sister had joined my team and I wanted to help her. So I was like, I better stink and learn how to do this and do this event for her. And I was like 2 months in. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew nothing about nutrition, but I had learned enough that I could follow the script and play the video. You guys can do that too. It's one of your best ways that you can help out that new team member in getting customers, is to do an event for them. So if you're not doing that for your new team, you probably are missing out. And not that all of them will, but those that will, I see it. Their numbers go much faster. They get those orders. They can get 12 people in a room because it's a warm market to them, right? Like everyone's new to this message, where you and I may have a hard time getting 12 people ourselves into a room. We might get 1, 2, 3 people there at an event at a time, but those people, it's all new to them. So they've got a whole new market to share with, and they can usually pack the room, do dinner, because that definitely helps. So talking to people, conversations, and events. With those 2 things in mind, what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do to have more conversations? And what events do you guys have on the calendar? You guys tell me now, what's your excitement about this? What have you already got in play? What's your plan? What are you thinking? What questions do you have, or suggestions do you guys want some feedback on?
Stacy, I would love to hear what you would have to say about reconnecting with the people that we've, talked about the business again, like what your specific verbiage might be if you've talked to them 2 or 3 times and they just weren't ready.
So I would think, like, what was kind of the hesitancy that they had? That's going to be their new need, right? So that's going to be the need in this new conversation context. Was it financial? Was it time? Was it timing, where it just was a crazy busy time of their life? So have things changed for them? This new incentive is kind of the thing that's changed for our end, but it's possible that, something could have changed on their end too, with kids back in school or whatever. So think about what was the kind of the objection, if you will, when they were signing up or not signing up before. And then does this help solve that problem? Maybe it's just the excitement of the samples that you have. Hey, you get 30 samples, like you guys get to try the shakes, you get to try the gummies, you get to try the bars, and they're going to give that to you when you place your first order. So I would say, especially your customers that are going to be shipping this month, like think about that. That would be their first orders that they're placing. I don't know if like their reshipment would count, but it's possible that they would count that. And then they would be able to get some free product. I think it has to be a new one. So cancel the old order and put a new one in. If your customers are reshipping, it's the new ARO that triggers the system to send the box of samples. Okay, so if they sign up, if they're a customer shipping this month and they become a partner, then you want to cancel their order and place a new one for them. So it shows up as a new ARO under them, and that will trigger their new box. I know that's the answer. So, if you're, let's say in the past, they just were unsure, you could also, they get free samples for doing a health study order, right? A healthy starts order. So that would be, maybe talking to them about their sister. You had mentioned your sister before. Like this would be a good chance. I'm thinking about my daughter-in-law. Last month, she just wasn't ready to join in with us. But maybe if she knows it's 50, it's not 52, it's 22, and she gets the free samples, it's just kind of an excitement. Like I said, it's of interest, and now it's on sale. Okay, it's on sale. So I would just really lean on your excitement about it.
And I think the free product, all they're doing with the samples, that's a first that I remember giving that many. And to me, that the excitement is even around there. If you focused on just that, not the $30 off, that's huge.
I agree. That helps them start conversations, right? So I love that. That's a great question. Does anyone else have an answer for Patty? What do you think about people that have thought about it, but they haven't joined in yet? Any verbiage that you're specifically, before we answer that, let me tell you this too. We kind of talked about it, I think, on one of our calls last week. But if you send a long message, and I'm notorious for this in Project Broadcast, because you get, 1,400 characters, and you're like, I'm going to get every last one in that message that I'm going to send to them. But if we send a long message, the message comes across and you're like, oh, that's a long message. And if they have an Apple Watch, they will do this and they move along and they don't even see it. They might scroll through, oh, it's longer than what I have in this second. They tap their watch and they move on and they don't even read it. I found inviting to events, if I have a really long post about all of the details, I won't get a response. So if I say, hey, are you going to be in town on the 23rd? And that's it. And they see it. They don't know what that's about. Why is she asking me if I'm going to be on the 23rd? Now, probably by now, they're like, oh, she's going to invite me to an event. But a lot of them have been like, oh, I can't go to the event. I want to go to the next one. Or they think maybe Stace needs something, whatever. So they see, are you in town? That's something easy to read. They can see it on their watch and they can tap and answer yes. Right? They can answer in one word, even if they're fast. If it's a long message and they're scrolling on their watch and they're like, I don't have time for that right now, I'll come back to it. You've lost them. You could have lost them. Same thing on their phone. They see that it's a long message. If it's just something short. So if your message goes out as like a broadcast, you're broadcasting a message with a copy paste. I would encourage you guys, ask a question to find the interest. Okay, so like an event, I'm asking, are they going to be in town on the 23rd for Leanne Harris's? What's a question that we could get them? Like, I don't know, did you hear about announcement about Juice Plus? Or did you hear what Juice Plus is doing to celebrate their 30th year? Did you hear about the free samples Juice Plus is giving? Like something that, no, what I've been interested in Juice Plus, what samples, like who gets the free samples? Like that one might be a really good one. Did you hear that Juice Plus is giving out free samples or mailing free samples? I don't know, something like that, some sort of question. You guys jump in that would be short enough to pique their interest, to pull them into a conversation, and that's not just going to get dismissed and moved along. We can't send all of the information. Ask a question to generate interest and then fill in the details afterwards. So what do you guys think? What are some questions we could ask?
Well, I sent out a message the other night when we got the news. I sent out messages to 14, 15 people and had some responses. This is just a little bit longer than what you said, but here's what I said. Hi, Ashley. I've literally just heard some incredible news. I can't wait to share with you. It has to do with the number 30. Do you have a few minutes tomorrow that we could schedule a chat? And believe it or not, when we started our conversation, she's like, so what's with the number 30? And so that was kind of fun.
Yes, put that in here. That's perfect. That's something that generates interest without giving all the details and them making a decision before they even know, what it is. But it's bringing their curiosity up to where they're like, well, now I got to know what number 30 is. I would want to know. I'd be like, I'm calling her right now. What is 30? What is the 30? That's perfect. Thank you so much. That's a great one, Lisa. Put that in the chat for us for sure. Nancy said she's got a salad in a jar party and a watch party scheduled. Excellent. Leanne Harris is going to be doing her watch party this month, and she's coming to speak for us. Leanne, if you're watching, we love you. We thank you for your time you give all of us. And somebody asked where all of the business promotions are. It's in the news section on boards on the Campbell team, as I'm guessing where it's at. So your team should have a boards that they're keeping up with. Or it's on the hub, like Patty said. Crystal, I'm not sure if you have boards with your team that can help it be not so confusing to find things.
Stacy, I've been looking on the hub and I am not finding it. So that was a good question from Crystal, but I love the board idea. So if you're not on boards, ask your upline to add you to those.
Yeah, I'll show you guys where it's at on a Campbell team board. So it's Campbell team, just the basic one, and then news and info. This is where I would guess that it would be. Monthly incentive, healthy starts, and the new partner special. And then there's all those images and then the details. So I don't know if you guys are on the Campbell team board, but that's the one I use the most. So that was on the very home page, if you will, the very first button of them. And mine is stuck. Okay, well, we found it. I don't know why it's not letting me go back. All right, so any other verbiage you guys have been using to send out some messages and get people talking? Or get interest there? There's been
Hey,
a couple.
Stacy, it's Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, so I'm on the Campbell team boards, but I'm not finding what you found. Where was that at with all of those flyers?
Okay, so you're going to go just on the Campbell team board and it will say news and info. It's the
Okay.
top right box. Do you see that?
I clicked that.
And then it
But-
says monthly incentive.
Monthly. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. That's where that one's at. All right. Anything else, you guys? Any other verbiage you want to talk about? Share with us events. I started doing sourdough, and I kind of wanted to make a couple of loaves and make sure I was decent enough to teach a class. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Getting the starter going, I was like, oh, I'm going to kill my mother, but I didn't kill the mother, and she's doing well. She's going strong, and I've made a couple loaves. They've all turned out fantastic, and I'm not a great baker. Ask my kids, and I don't know what happened. I used to be better when I was younger, and I'm just not good at it now. So if I can make a loaf, they were pretty excited about it. Even my mom, who's like, I don't like sourdough. She's like, when's your next sourdough class? Because I took some over for dinner one night. So I said I would do 12 at a time. My kitchen will fit 12. And then the next one, I would do another one. So I have quite a few people on a waiting list. And you can go back on my wall and see the post that I did. You can see kind of the verbiage that I used in inviting to it. I had been posting pictures and like, hey, I'll be teaching a class this fall about it. I'm just not quite ready. So then I said, I'm ready. Never in all of my life have I been asked and have a waiting list of people that want to come to an event. Like, that's kind of interesting, right? Like, that's kind of nice. So I will incorporate Juice Plus into it because I said it's a Love Your Guts sourdough event. So we will talk about gut health, and I will do some education around that. But it's people that I have been like, oh, would love to get her to an event, or she would be great on my team, or just have not had any interest necessarily in the Juice Plus that I know of. And this brings them into my home with other people that are taking it. So if you're not on the sourdough wagon yet, I do recommend it. We'll see after the 14th how much flour we have on the floor. And I just think it's going to be a lot of fun to do one. But like I said, I've got, 10 people saying they're coming to the first one. And then I've got a list of at least that many saying, can you let me know when the next one is? So again, I've never had that for a wellness presentation list, waiting list of wanting to come in. So just think about that. Lots of resources on, on sourdough. There's a Simply Sourdough Facebook group, and there is a boards for that. That's really helpful too. So that's all I've got. Anything else you guys want to share?
Stacy, can you clarify when they say they need to order any new product? Can it be simple as a bag of complete or a bag of something? Like if they're already taking the quad, I mean, they may want to add, they may want to become a rep, but they want to do something just a one-time bag? Do you know if they can do that?
And, that's a great question, Barb. I would really say, let's get them a customer, right? The point is also not just saving $30 and getting the
Right.
samples for themselves. The point of a team is that you start working with their network of people. You want to get to the connections that they have as a partner, and there's more buy-in that they have as a partner. And so go into these conversations right from the beginning of like, who can we help, guys? We're walking into, flu season, and there's people that they need this. They're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. We have really a lot of hope to share with them. Let's help build up some immune systems. Who in your family can use this? Let's help them get started. Who have you already shared with? And let that be their order. It doesn't have to be in their name. It just has to be a first order placed underneath them. So yes, you could do just one bag, I'm guessing, of the complete to start that, but really focus on let's get them customers and get them to Partner Plus. Like they're going to get $100, guys. Oh, and you get $100. So Brielle just got to QSC this month, and she had 3 team members that got to Partner Plus. All 3 of them got to Partner Plus, and she got to QSC in less than 30 days. So she got $100 for her own Partner Plus. Then she got $400 for getting to QSC in less than 30 days. And then she got 3 different $100 bonuses for all of her new partners getting to Partner Plus. Her paychecks, like those bonus checks, $800. As a new college student, she's pretty stoked about that, right? Like that was $800 she wasn't, counting, expecting she would even get. So she was pretty excited about that side. Her paycheck is not big because all of them became team members, right? Like had she kept them all as customers, she would have had a bigger paycheck, but it wouldn't have been $800. You don't think the company knows that? Like that's why they're doing that, and her sister's a QSC, she's under her. So she gets the commission level of 10%. Brielle's at no commission level. So then Ansley got the 10% commission level. So that was her incentive to help her. She would help her. She would get the other bonuses when she was getting promoted. So don't underestimate that. Like we got to get them to Partner Plus. It's like a non-negotiable because you want them to get that $100. Yeah, it's 22 and you get the samples and you get the Healthy Starts samples. And you get, let's get you $100 back and you get your paycheck. So really stretch our thinking to, yeah, we could do just a small bag, but is that where we want them to stop? We want them to go further. Let's help people. Let's help build their customer base. And once they see that people are interested, that encourages them like, oh, I do have a message that's relevant. I do have a voice that can make an impact here. And I have somebody helping me do that. Isn't that the best? I love that combination, that 3 right there. So good discussion on that. Thanks, Barb.
So it really does not have to be their own personal order as a new team member?
Not that I saw. Did anybody else see that it has to be their own personal? It just says when their first order is placed. So I mean, that's the point. We want to build a customer base with them and share. Right.
Stacy, I have a quick question too.
Okay.
I want to know if anyone has some suggestions on a new partner, and she's already like in a month, less just under a month, said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. My kids tell me I go after every shiny object, blah, blah, blah. And we tried to get her to Partner Plus, worked with her with a list, gave her different categories to try to figure out people. I called her almost daily, if not daily, to say, hey, you ready for some help? What do you need? Blah, blah, blah. Do you want me to help you make the calls? So want to know if there's any other suggestions. She was so fired up. She knows it's good for her and she needs to do it. But then I don't know where I lost her. So wondering if anyone has suggestions.
Well, I don't think you're the one that lost her. I think the naysayers got her. Like
I thought of the 3 that you always say.
Yeah, you know, that mindset, that's hard to overcome when you have somebody that's negative speaking that. You just said real quickly, you know, her kid said, "Oh, you always go off the next shiny object." I mean, that would be devastating if somebody said that to me that I loved,
Mm.
you know. And does she? She may. They may be accurate that she's always jumping from thing to thing to thing, and she doesn't really give it the time and attention it needs to do it well, to learn the skill and get better at it. So that would be a mindset thing too. We can lead people all the way, but it's still up to them if they're going to do the activity. So can you help her lean into the personal growth side of things? I think probably a good book for just the really quick thing you told us right there would be The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. If she would listen to that, that could be a, you know, she sounds like if she's always jumping from shiny object to next thing, next thing, next thing, she probably is self-sabotaging to where, again, she doesn't really give it the time and attention it would need to flourish and do well with it. And so then she just moves on to the next thing. So to have somebody negatively speaking that to you, but then also to know, well, it is true, I do that. So who am I to think that I can start a business here? Like, that's a really rough mindset to start out with. And somehow maybe she got the concept that she had to do it all herself versus, but it sounds like, I mean, you've been right there with her. So, I mean, sadly, sometimes the birds will get them, as Jim Rohn says, you know, it just happens, but she may come around, and it may just be that you watered those seeds that have been planted, and just keep inviting her to events to build her confidence and belief. And then just ask her, can you bring a friend? Do you have a friend you want to bring? And so maybe that feels different than inviting to an event. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's good news. I mean, she did say thank you for your help. You've been great. I hope we can keep our relationship. And for me too, I don't limit it because I have goals to meet, you know, things to do and people to help. And so there's only so much time you have extra.
Yeah, for sure. And we will die on the side of the road trying to help them. We're like, please let me help you. But sometimes you just have to have that mindset and just say it's just not the right timing, or, you know, just move through. So yeah, that is true. There's a fly.
Okay, thanks.
You're
I got
welcome.
a mosquito.
What is it with these little pests? All right. Well, let me end this so it doesn't get too long.